Capevin Investments was known as KWV Investments up until 2008 and has an effective 30% stake in the Distell Group. It is in the process of a reorganization which will involve a share swap for shares in Capevin Holdings. It has a market cap of 4.5 billion rand, a price to earnings ratio of 14 and a dividend yield of 3.5%. Dare I say this is a bit incestuous, pretty much like the property environment where everybody owns a bit of each other.
Yeah.
I'm picking up on a trend here.
Oh no, you're right. And it comes back to something that Paul alluded to earlier on in terms of when this whole situation was created back in the late 1970s. After the beer wars and when we had a reorganization of what beer companies and spirits companies could actually do. So what you've got is this rather labyrinthine arrangement whereby Capevin has got a holding in a company called Remgro Capevin Holdings, which in turn owns 58%, I think, of Distell. SAB Miller has a 29% stake in Distell. So yes, you're right, very incestuous. It's a historical thing, and over time it would be nice to see a lot of this actually being cleared up and cleaned up.
Is that the reality? We are going to see a lot of this unwound over time, or is that sort of hoping for blue sky where there's none?
Well, because SAB Miller wants to retain liquor-related holdings, so I guess you can count on them to stick around. Remgro is, of course, an industrial holding group, and again, you know, it likes the dividend flows, and I don't see them wanting to be out of this. So I think those two parties you can assume are going to stay. This thing, Capevin, has kind of picked up a PSG type of flavour as well, because Zeda owns a stake in it as well. And so the chaps in Stellenbosch are all over this stuff. Which sort of makes sense because historically that's the sort of cornerstone. Are we going back
to the Stellenbosch mafia here?
Exactly.
You wanted to mention the term but were too nervous given the feedback you've had recently.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're all very happy owning it and seeing each other at the board meetings. So I think the chances of them allowing any upstarts from Joburg into the club is very unlikely.
Do you agree with that?
Oh, totally. And having worked with Yanni Mouton many years ago, I understand he doesn't make bad investments. He only makes very, very good investments.
So you're backing the man, Yanni Mouton, on this one?
I'm backing the man and the company and its intrinsic fundamentals here.
Okay, but here's the question, I guess, is do we regard Capevin Investments as an opportunity to get into an investment in Distell, the underlying Distell, at some kind of a discount, or B, is there a resolution to the liquidity problem?
Yeah, at this point in time, we have to look at it as being a mechanism to get into the underlying thing at a discount. And as I was saying earlier, I did the calculation, it's probably sitting at about 20% discount to its fundamental worth at this point in time. We can't really speculate as to what's going to happen in terms of a change in terms of the composition. But that may well release some value in time as well.
All right, well, Chris, let's look behind you here, and we've got some interesting movements. What was this all about? We had a spike.
Yeah, that looks like an intraday or one-day type of spike. You know, it doesn't trade all that actively either. But understand what
this is not bad though. I mean, look at this kind of castle we formed.
Look, it's moving up in the same pattern as Distell was, because that's its underlying investment. So people are kind of making a call on that. But understand it's right now in the middle of that reorganization. So if you're a holder of Capevin Investments, share code CVI, you're going to have a share swap effectively for shares in Capevin Holdings. And then you're still at the behest of the board, which is based, you know, down there and has the same characters on it. I don't know how it's going to get ultimately resolved. I'm not sure that it can be resolved, given that Distell is the lower company, but this is one level up. It's not the other way around.
Hot or not, Mr. Chris Gilmour?
Well, having said that Distell was hot, I could hardly say this one is hot, and it's trading at a discount to its fundamental value. So yes, I've got to say it's hot as well.
And Paul?
No, I'm going to go with not. Rather use your money somewhere else.